This video is for my Oshkosh guitar students, and it is about lining up Pentatonic Pattern 1 to the song that I recorded for my students. I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry. It's an old Hank Williams song. It's a very simple melody. It's easy to play along with. And we want to take pattern 1 for a pentatonic. So I call this one pattern 1, where we go. So a lot of people would also call this a minor pentatonic pattern. I avoid that because it can also be used for a major pentatonic scale if we use our little finger here as the guide or the tonic. So right here, if we were to take this and find a C note, here's A, here's B, here's C. This is where we would line this key up, or this scale up, for the key of C. So this is, I'm going to play over top of this video that I did right here. Let's see if it works. I have a very old iPad I'm using, so we'll see. I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry by Hank Williams Sr. in the key of C for my Oshkosh guitar students. I'm so lonesome I could cry. I've never seen a night so long, when time goes crawling by. The moon just went behind a cloud to hide its face and hide. I'm so lonesome I could cry. kind of gives you an idea how I would approach doing something like this. So basically what I like to do is everything that I did was completely improvised, not really planned out, but by doing these patterns a lot, you can kind of start to get in your head an idea of what the different combinations would sound like, and then by comparing that with maybe chord spellings, you might be able to find, like, for instance, these notes here all work really well over the C chord and this note and this note. So then the F chord we have for the G chord, we would probably want to do this. So basically, it doesn't really matter what you play as long as you're really paying attention, and you will start to notice that certain things sound better to you than other things do. And I would always gravitate in the direction of what sounds best to begin with, and then start to stretch that a little bit so that you can expand how you would play over top of different types of chords. One thing to always keep in mind when you're doing this style of playing, what some people would call a lead guitar, is be really careful not to walk over top of the person who is singing, or whatever instrument is considered the lead or the focal point. So if the bass is doing a bass solo, don't play over top of it. If the singer is singing, don't play over top of that. So even as a lead guitar player, we would still want to be in a supporting role if that's what is appropriate to the context that we're playing in. So you will notice that most of the time when I was playing, I tried to work around what was happening with the singing. And I feel personally that that's a really important thing for a guitar player to do, is to try to figure out what in context is the most, the focal point of what you're playing with, and to support that. Instead of playing over it or along with it, you want to be in a supporting type of a role, if possible. And then there is also the context of, here's the guitar solo part, so then maybe you will take front and center for that type of a section. So I hope this is helpful and works and makes sense. Please text me or message me or email me or whatever, or ask me in your next lesson if there's anything else that needs clarification related to this song. So I also should say quickly that in the video notes for the song that I just played to, I wrote down that you can substitute the blues scale for the pentatonic scale. So what the blues scale is to me is when you take, here's my pentatonic, and I add this tone right here, that turns it into what a lot of people like to call a blues scale. So in the context of a major key like what we were just doing, you have this sound. So it has a really kind of a cool country swing sound almost. And then I also wrote down in the notes to the previous video that you can play the C scale over top of this. That would be C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Now, the only time that wouldn't work really well in this song is hear the lonesome whippoorwill, sounds too blue to fly. Now right here we have a C7, and over that C7 we have, inside of it I should say, instead of a B natural, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C. So some people would call this a Mixolydian scale, and we definitely can use that word if we would like to. All it is a C scale with with a B flat instead of a B, and that allows us to do the C7, which comes before da 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 is one and low, but then we need the B natural again for the G7 chord. I'm so lonesome I could cry. This B flat leads us to the A note for the F chord. If you listen closely, you'll be hearing a lot of this stuff. Sometimes, until you know what to listen for, though, you might not hear it. So if you don't know that this C7 is using a B flat, that might not be very apparent. So just listen, and as you learn more, listen to the same thing again, and you'll hear new things. It's a really fun adventure. That's all. I think I'm done talking here.